Hello,
What's your name?
Jeff Lyles.
Where are you from?
Originally, I am from White County, near Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay. Did you attend college?
I did go to college.
Which college did you go to?
I went to Oklahoma Baptist University in Shawnee, Oklahoma.
What major did you study?
I started there as a music major. I was a trumpet major. And then my sophomore year, I changed over to secondary social studies education.
Okay. What's your profession right now?
I'm a professor of education right now at St. John Fisher College in Rochester, New York.
Okay. What made you want to be a professor?
Well, about my sophomore year in college, I decided I liked it. I liked learning. I liked the books. I liked my professors. It looked like they were always having a pretty good time. It looked like a pretty cool job. And I liked the lifestyle, being on a college campus. And so I just thought it would probably be a pretty good way to make a living. And in my freshman year, my freshman music advisor told me I ought to reconsider my career options because I wasn't doing too well in music.
What were some of the skills that you needed when you went to college?
Well, I needed to know how to sit still and read for more than 30 seconds. I wasn't very good at that. And, when I was at home, I would always have my parents at home or teachers at school that made me sit still and quiet and at least look like I was reading. Of course, sometimes I was faking it, which meant I never developed that skill. So when I got to college and professors didn't follow you around, parents weren't there, and you actually had reading assignments, I would say my biggest problem and the biggest problem a lot of my friends had was just being able to sit still, be quiet, focus, and read the assignments. I mean, I could understand the words. I just couldn't do self-discipline and make myself do it.
Do you think that's what most of your college students now have the skill?
I do. I don't think they ever sit still or sit quietly and reflect on much of anything. They're always talking with someone or texting or running around or have music on. And I really think they believe they can multitask, but I think a lot of research is proving that multitasking is a myth. So to do something really well, to think something through, reflect on it, think about it deeply, I think you have to be able to be quiet and be reflective.
Okay. Do you think that was your toughest skill that you had to get comfortable in?
I think it was, and really it goes along with doing things that I didn't necessarily want to do. And so if a professor said read this book or this chapter, that article, I almost never wanted to, and I think the hardest thing was to do it anyway, because I faked out a lot of teachers in high school, but you can't really fake out college professors so much. You have to do the reading, and then after that you have to be able to sit down and write on your own and give yourself enough time to edit. You can't write a lot of people try to write college papers. I did it too the night before it's due. That typically doesn't work in college like it perhaps did in high school. One of the things we know I've read in research is that a lot of high school students, whether they're successful, especially successful students because they're the ones who go to college, they try to do the same things in college that they did in high school, but they don't necessarily translate. So in college, you can't fake it. You really have to make yourself sit still, read, write, and do the work. And that was probably the most difficult thing for me.
So when you were saying a successful student, what did you mean by that?
A student, one, who makes the grades necessary to stay in college, to stay in their major, or perhaps to get into a professional school. For example, in the School of Education where I teach, you're a freshman, you're not in the School of Education. You can't get into the School of Education unless you have a 2.75 grade point average. So once you get to college, to get into a lot of professional programs and majors, you have to have a particular grade point average your freshman and sophomore year to go into those programs. So I think of the successful student as one who is maintaining the grade point average, to get into those programs or to stay in college. And then I think socially, to be successful, you have friends and a support system around you so you don't get lonely and depressed. Because I've seen students, both when I was a student and as a professor, that aren't doing well socially. And if you feel isolated and like you don't have the support and friendship on the campus, that can make it kind of tough.
Do you think high school prepared you to be a successful student in college?
I think there were some things they were doing, they were trying to prepare me. Like I said, I think I did a pretty good job trying to fake them out. And I was a pretty social person. And so, I was always more interested in playing music, playing around with friends, goofing around. But I think that the high school had good intentions. I went to a high school where most people thought they would go to college and were expected to go to college. So we didn't give it much thought. We just all sort of figured we would go to college and do something there.
What do you think college readiness is?
Well, I think beyond the basics, which is, again, reading, writing, time management, self-discipline, which is, I guess, what I was describing earlier would be self-discipline. Make yourself sit down and do the work. And I think resilience. So you sit down, you do the work, you give it to a professor, and you get it back, and you think it's the best thing you've ever done, and it's like a C or a D. Yeah. It's hard, and you have to be resilient, and you have to be kind of tough and kind of thick-skinned, and you got to be able to learn that they're just giving you that feedback to try to help you be successful. They're not saying you're a bad person or you're a dumb person or you're a stupid person or you can't do it. They're saying here's what you need to think about improving on. But I'm not sure I was mature enough to understand that. And I had some real hard times adjusting to the criticisms of my professors.
So what motivated you to encourage to be a successful person?
In college?
Yes.
Or to go to college and finish? I had some really crappy summer jobs. That may sound funny, but I did. I mean, I would work summer jobs, which were hourly wage earning jobs. I worked as a painter. I worked as a window washer. I worked at Astro World theme park, which I thought would be cool. It was a nightmare, and I just thought there's got to be a better way to make a living. And most of my friends, my family, my stepfather went to college. My mom didn't. A lot of my friends' parents went to college, and I just thought that college was the way of the lifestyle that I wanted to have. I didn't want to work for minimum wage my whole life. I wanted a profession, and I thought of college as the ticket to doing that. But like I said, I was interested in music. And so initially, I just wanted to go to college and get more music training that I would need to become a professional musician, the kind I wanted to be.
After going to college, were you still interested in music?
Yeah, I was. I stayed interested in music, and I'm still interested in music and play music, but I do it more as a hobby and to pay for hamburgers and things.
Do you think you motivate your students in your class?
I try to. I try to motivate them and help them learn the things I think they probably need to learn to be successful in college and in life.
Okay, so one last question.
Sure.
Is there any advice or tips you would give a high school student to be college ready?
Yeah, I would say seek out the teachers and the family members in your life that support you and will help you develop a goal of going to college and being successful in college, and use them as resource people as often as you can. You can't and don't have to do it alone. Reach out to the people you know are interested in that goal and helping you with that goal. And then I would also say start working on things like reading and sitting and making yourself read something in a quiet room and do some writing. You know, just start some journal writing and some reading and some time management, little exercises and activities. Challenge yourself to do some of the things that you may not really want to do, but that will help with your self-discipline later in life.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.